Hi and welcome into another video. Today we'll hop into our Ubuntu server and see how the basic file and directory permissions are working there. So let's hop into the console and work it out. Alright, we are in our Ubuntu 24 server. If you don't know how to set it up, the link to one of the videos will be down below. So let's talk about basic file permissions and access to files and directories on Ubuntu server. So if we will do ls-l to show the files, we will see that right now we have only directories, the projects and Terraform. Let's do attach, which will create a very basic file for us, an empty file, and let's do it like test.txt. And let's do ls-l one more time, and right now we will have a directories and a text file. So let's work out the basic permissions. If we will see here in this first column, or maybe let's start from this one. So this column is the owner, like a user which owns this file. The second column is a group which owns this file. And this column are the specific permissions. So let's try to decrypt that a little bit. We can see that this first that it consists of 10 like places or characters. The first one, as you can see, for directory there is a D, for file there is just a dash. So that's the first thing. And the next 9 characters are actually grouped into the groups of 3. So this is the one group, this is the second group, and this is the third group. The first is the permissions for the file owner. So they are correlated with this column. So what owner of the file can do. The second column is about the group. So what group to which this file belongs or directory belongs can do. And the second and the third column is the others column. So all of the other users that don't belong as a file or directory owner. So let's then decrypt the values. R is for read. R is for read. W is for write. And X is for execution. Execution in the example of the file would be that if we would, let's say, create a very basic bash script, let's maybe create that. So maybe let's do vim, let's call a script sh, and we will add here a very basic let's add here a very basic bash script. So we'll do bin bash, and let's do echo from script. Let's save that, WQ, and we will see that we have this script sh, but it doesn't have an X flag nowhere. So if we will add an X flag to it, we will talk about it a little bit later, how to add it, but just for the sake of argument right now, we can see that right now it turned green and it has an X on all of the sections. And now I can just run it. Without it, let's say if I would like to run the test.txt, or if I will remove the execution flag from the script, it will also be not able to execute it. The funny thing that the execution flag is also set on the directory level, like this projects or Terraform. So you need to have an X flag to be able to go into that directory and then list what is in this directory and go deeper. So that's about the execution flag. Read and write seems to be self-explanatory. Alright, so let's think about how we can set the permissions. So we can do it on many different ways, but all of them will be using chmod. And we can do it as I already did before, like +x or -x, and then the file name or directory name will add or remove permissions in all of the three groups. If we would like to do it on a specific group, we need to prepend it with this section. So let's say we have a test.txt which has read-write for the user. We can do U or G or O for user, group, or other, and then specifically add, let's say, +x here, and we will see I added it only to a group, to a user. I can also remove it only from the user, or let's say I can add it only to the others. And the same goes with many other stuff. So let's say we will remove everything from the others. And as you can see, we removed read-write. Let's remove also the X. So others don't have anything. You can add like all of them at once, or only read-write, or as you want. This is the approach of adding the U or G plus O plus minus RWX. Other approach is a number-based approach. Okay, let's clear the screen and now talk about the numbers approach to that. So let's say I will firstly do chmod 777 test.txt, and then we'll describe that. So let's do ls-l. We will see that test.txt has rwx, rwx, and rwx in all of the three sections. So besides this addition of read, write, execute as a letter, we can do this numbers approach, and this numbers approach works this way, that 4 is for read, 2 is for write, and 1 is for execute. And we can sum them up and add in different groups. So when I did chmod 777 to test.txt, I actually took the 7 for users, 7 for group, and 7 for others, and 7 was from summing up. So we summed up read, we summed up write, and we summed execute, so we got 7. But we can actually do, let's say, 000 to test.txt, or we can do 400, which will only be read here, and the rest will be staying the same. And that's the number-based approach. One more thing that we will talk about today will be the basic changing of users and groups. So let's do first like maybe 777 for test.txt. We have it this way, and we can use chown to change the user, or user and group, or just group. So we can do it this way. Let's say I want to change the user of the test.txt. We are doing chown root test.txt. Okay, let's prepend it with sudo. And now we can see that root is the owner, briefly is still the group. If you would like to change the group, there is a command change group, and here we can add also the root group and test.txt, and let's see, it worked. This is also possible but by the chown method. So let's try to change the group ownership back to briefly, and we will do it with chown. We will do double, and here we will briefly, and test.txt. Okay, let's another time prepend it with sudo, and as you can see, we change it. We did it this way because actually you can change the username, user and group at the same time, doing such a syntax. So let's do it this way, and let's do it one more time. And more or less, it works this way. We are doing it in a basic fashion, but there is also something that we will be discussing in other videos, like file control list, which are even more fine-grained control for the user or for the user group, directory, and files permission. So see you in the next video, and that's all for today.